In sales, you should be making it as easy as possible for a prospect to buy the product or service that you have to offer. Now, in this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you the sales call booking system that we've created at Mineco that makes it really easy for a prospect to go to our website and book a call with us so that we can sell our services. Hello, my name is Paul Miners and welcome back to another one of our training videos. Now at my company, in order to sell our Asana and Pipedrive training services, we first need a prospect to book an introductory call with us so we can learn about their goals and requirements so that we can then present and pitch some kind of offer or solution. Now we've created a really slick sales call booking system that makes it really easy for the prospect to do that. And quite often when prospects come to us when they want help with Pipedrive, they're looking to improve their sales process, and they often say, wow, your booking system was really seamless, really easy. There were follow-up emails that reminded me to book. I want you to build that for me. In this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and I'm going to show you the tools that we've used to create our booking system. And if you'd like help setting up something like this for your business, then click the link in the description below, book a call with us to learn more about our support and consulting options. Now, the system I'm going to show you works particularly well if you receive inbound leads. If you do outbound sales where you are cold calling or cold emailing prospects, this is probably not the best system for you. You're probably going to be booking them while you have them on the phone. But in my business, we receive a lot of inbound leads. Prospects who have watched one of our YouTube videos, they click the link in the description and they land on a page on our website like this. And there's a button at the top that says, book an introductory call. Clicking that button kicks off the process where we first do a little bit of qualification and then we get them to actually book their call, all done automatically through the website. Now, when a prospect goes to our website, generally the first thing they do is they click this button here to book an introductory call. And this pop-up appears. This is powered by a tool called Rightmessage, and we're using the Rightmessage plugin on our WordPress website to make this all work. And this is not an essential part of our system, but we do find it really useful. So what we're doing is we ask the prospect some questions here about their current situation, their challenges, and their goals. And we do a couple of things with this. First, we feed the answers into our sales CRM, Pipedrive, so that when the salesperson gets onto the introductory call, they've got a bit of information about the prospect's current situation. The second thing we do is we put the answers into our email provider, which is Kit, and later on, if we send marketing emails or newsletters to the prospect, we can actually use their answers to personalize the emails that they receive. So I'll show you those two things in a bit. So for now, we ask these questions. So what's your role in the business? I'm the sole business owner. What's the size of your team? What stage are you at with Asana? We find it useful to know, are they brand new or have they been using Asana for a little while? What's your number one challenge with Asana? It's good to know, like, what's the main pain point or problem we're trying to solve? So I could say here, I'm overwhelmed. We'd like to know what's the number one thing you'd like to achieve with Asana. So are they trying to learn how to use it or increase team adoption? We'd like to know, when are you looking for help? Are you ready now or in a few months? We like to know, very important, what kind of budget do you have to spend? That's going to help us work out what kind of options to pitch. So I could say here, I'm willing to invest. And then we also find it useful to know, are you the decision maker, one of the decision makers, or do you need approval? So that's the first kind of phase of the booking system, is we gather those questions. And if I take you to the back end of Rightmessage, this is what that flow looks like, or from the back end where it's all set up. So here are those questions that you just saw. What's your role in the business? What's the size of your team using Asana? Stage, challenge, and so on. And here is where I can change the wording and configure all of this. Now, the important thing we do here is we sync the answers with Kit. You don't have to use Kit. If you use Mailchimp or ActiveCampaign, this will work well, equally well. And so what we've said here is, if they say, I'm overwhelmed, put this word overwhelmed into the MA challenge custom field. And so now if I go to Kit, this is what it looks like in here. So if I go to MA challenge, actually for me, my subscriber here, it says time, but we just put that word, overwhelmed or time or team, into that field. So we've now captured this information. We know that this person's main challenge is they don't have time or they're feeling overwhelmed. And so later on, if we send somebody a newsletter, or here's an example of the nurture sequence that we send. We send this email about how to plan your Asana structure. We have this dynamic content here. So we can say, if the subscriber's goal is learning about features, we say this bit of text here. So, we can help you take advantage of more advanced features, blah, blah, blah. Whereas if their goal is to streamline their processes, the email will have this block of text. So this is really powerful because when we send a marketing email, rather than trying to kind of write one email that has the best wording and sales copy for everyone, we can send personalized emails based on what the prospect has already told us. So if their goal is to improve team adoption, the email addresses team adoption. As I mentioned, you don't have to do this part, but we've decided to make it part of our booking system because when they go to the website and they book their call, it's a really good opportunity to find out what are your challenges and what are your goals. Because yes, we do get people on sales calls and often people convert after we've had that conversation, but sometimes people don't. So we send some marketing emails, we put people into various nurture sequences, and when the prospect later receives those emails, they get an email that's more personalized to them. And I've been on the receiving end of this, where I've read an email and it's like, wow, he's reading my mind. He knows exactly what I want. It's not magic. All you're doing is you're gathering information about the prospect's goals and challenges, and later you're just repeating back what they've told you. And we're using Rightmessage to capture that now, put it into Kit. In this case, again, you could use Mailchimp or whatever, and we can use that later to send better, more personalized marketing emails, and that's going to result in a higher conversion rate for your sales process. Now, after we ask those initial questions, we can then direct the prospect down different paths, or we can present different calls to action based on their responses. So we've created this route here where we've said if their consulting budget is low, they're on a tight budget, we really don't want them booking an introductory call. We just say, okay, based on your budget, we recommend you book a discovery call with us, and they get this call to action, which is to book a discovery call with one of our team. You put in your information here and we send you to, we provide a link to book and pay for that session. Or if they're on a higher budget, so if they are, I'm willing to invest, or I'd like to pay for the best support possible, we then actually split one more time and we say, if you're ready to invest now or in the next few months, great, book an introductory call. So we present that call to action. If they're not ready right now, we don't really want them booking a call. So we say, okay, join our newsletter. You'll get some emails from us and then we can nurture them. So that's quite nice because we don't just want everyone booking a call. We only really want to talk to the high quality prospects who have the budget, who are ready to invest now. So if they have the budget and they're ready to invest now, we show them this call to action, which is book an introductory call with us. And the first thing we do is we ask them, what's your first name, last name, and email? And that's actually what you're seeing right here. And after they put in their name and email, we've set up a redirect link here, and we send the prospect to Calendly. Calendly is the booking system or software that we use where people can actually pick a time and book with our team. And in Calendly, you don't have to use Calendly. You could use Schedule Once or Once Hub. We just like Calendly. It's the best option for us. So we've set up this Asana Consulting Introductory Call event type. And we have multiple people on our team who can be booked. One of the really nice things I like about Calendly is I can prioritize people differently. So you can see currently right now, Curtis is the top priority. He gets booked first. So if somebody wants to talk at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, if Curtis is available and all these other people are available, Curtis gets booked first. If Curtis isn't available, it then goes to the next available person. So that's one of the really nice things we like about Calendly. And if I just go to the booking page, this is what Calendly looks like on the front end. So really nice scheduling software, The prospect can pick a date. They can see all of the available times. And this is looking at all available times for everyone here. So maybe Kayla is available at a certain time. I'm available at a different time. For the prospect, it's just really easy. They just see all of the available options. And they can put in their name, email, company name, phone number, and some information. But the really cool thing we actually do in Rightmessage is in this URL that we redirect them to, we actually put in some URL query parameters, and this is where it gets a little bit technical. If this is a bit over your head or you're out of your depth here, this is where we can help. We put in some query parameters to provide the email, first name, and last name to Calendly, because if you think about it, if we have just asked them their name, email, first name, last name, email here, we don't really want to have them to type it in again in Calendly. So we put those details into the redirect URL. So this is what they would see. So if I do a test submission here, let's say, I'll just use me as an example, and we'll do Paul plus, I'm just going to put today's date as my test email. So after you click submit, it launches Calendly in a new tab. I can then see all of the available options for the salespeople and see what happens here. The first name, last name, and email, which I've already provided in Rightmessage, gets filled in. This is a really simple little trick, but people love it because it's such a pain when they have to type in their name or email again, especially if they've already told you. So from here, I can put in my company name, minor code test, my phone number, and I can say, I'd like training on Asana for my team. So they can then go ahead and book that call. Now, I'm actually not going to do that yet. Now, I want to highlight something here, which is the mistake that we think a lot of people make with their booking systems is they put a Calendly embed on their website. And yes, maybe there's actually fewer obstacles by doing that. But if somebody goes to the site and they can't find a time that works for them, you actually have no way of following up with them. So the reason we use Rightmessage and the reason we ask them, what's your name, what's your email, is now we've captured their information. So if they then go to Calendly and they can't find a time that works for them, we can send some automated follow-up emails reminding them to book their call. And this is the part that people really like, is it's actually kind of more proactive and you're more likely to get the prospect to actually book. So let me show you how that part works. When the prospect fills in the initial inquiry form through Rightmessage, so they've provided their first name, last name, and email, we do a couple of things. We add some tags in ConvertKit. We add a flag add to Pipedrive tag, and we add a flag schedule meeting tag. So this first tag, add to Pipedrive, this triggers a Zapier automation. Zapier, as I've talked about in many of our videos, is really the backbone of our business. It's a tool that we use to connect all our different services together. So when a ConvertKit subscriber is created with the add to Pipedrive tag, it triggers this automation in Zapier. Zapier takes the information, it does some formatting here, and then what we do is we create a person and a deal in Pipedrive. And so Pipedrive is our sales CRM. This is what the opportunity or deal looks like. So we've got a deal created with the person's name and Asana, because it's an Asana inquiry. The deal is in the prospect stage. We have the next stage, which is meeting arranged, but they haven't actually booked their meeting yet, so we just put them into the prospect stage. You can see here those questions that they answered before. So I'm the sole business owner, we're a small team, we're sort of intermediate. That information comes through into here. So as a salesperson, I can glance at that and I know a little bit about their current situation. And then a contact is created here with their email. And actually, we even put a link to their ConvertKit profile so I can go and look at that subscriber if I need to. So that's the first thing we do, is we use that tag to trigger Zapier to create the deal. The second thing we do is we add the schedule meeting tag. Now this triggers an automation in Kit, which is triggered by that tag. Now the first thing we do is we delay for 10 minutes because sometimes people, when they do get redirected to Calendly, they book their call straight away. So we don't want to send any follow-up emails just yet. We're going to give them 10 minutes. We do a couple of things, but we start this sequence here, which is the booking introductory call follow-up sequence. We have 3 emails that go out. So if they don't book in Calendly straight away, they get an email after 10 minutes that says, Thanks for reaching out. After submitting your details, you should have been linked to Calendly. Here's the link to book. So it's just a reminder, don't forget to book your call. A day later, they get another follow-up, hey, just reaching out again, don't forget to book your call. 4 days after that, final follow-up, don't forget to book your call. So rather than me having to follow up manually, we send these automated emails just reminding them to book that call. Now, at any point in that process, the prospect will then go to Calendly and book their call. And what we don't want to do is, if let's say they've received that first email, we don't want to send the second email. We don't want to ask them to book again if they've already booked. So how do we deal with that? So let me go back to the Calendly booking page that we left earlier. So again, some people fill this in straight away, but assuming I didn't, I can now come back and I can schedule my sales call with one of the sales team. So that gets booked, great. From there, we then trigger another Zap. This one is triggered when an invitee is created in Calendly. So basically at the moment they book, they click to schedule the call, the invitee is created and it triggers this automation. Zapier does some formatting here, and one of the key steps is we add another tag in Kit. And we're adding a meeting scheduled tag. Now, the cool thing about Kit is if a subscriber is partway through this sequence, so let's say they've received the second follow-up email, and then they click the link, they book through Calendly, we don't want them receiving that third email. So what Kit does is when we add the meeting scheduled tag, Kit will pull the subscriber forward, so they get pulled out of that sequence, so they don't get the third email, and we add them to a new automation, which is this one here. As you can see, this one is triggered when that tag is added, which is added by added by Zapier. And this is an automation that sends a couple more emails. Firstly, it says, thank you for making the booking. Here's what to expect on the call, how I suggest we format it. And again, you can see what I've done here is I've put in some conditional content. And I've said here, if you're not the decision maker, please invite anyone you need to the call so we have everyone we need in that conversation. Again, a really nice way to personalize the email based on the information that we have. So we send the thank you for your booking email. We also send another one a day later, just a little bit more about me and my business. We like to just share a little bit about us and how we work before they meet with us. So that's the first part of the automation is we update Kit so that we can send the appropriate email. We then also update Pipedrive. So Zapier takes their email, it finds the person, finds the deal, updates the deal, and then the deal, and actually this has all happened in the background as I've been talking, the deal now gets moved to this meeting arranged stage. I didn't do this, Zapier just did this for me. The deal has been reassigned to Andrew because he's the one that's taking the call. And a couple of activities have been created here, one for Charmaine to confirm the call and one for Andrew to do the introductory call at the date and time that the prospect booked. On the left-hand side, you can even see we've updated the booking info with the information from Calendly. So now we have the information from Rightmessage about their situation and the text that they filled in Calendly, what they're looking for help with. So Andrew, in this case, he's got a bit of information about the prospect, he knows a little bit about what he's going into, and he can now do the sales call. So those are the tools we use to create this booking system. In summary, we've got Rightmessage, which powers the widget on the website, and it asks those initial qualification questions. Based on their responses, if they don't qualify, we don't book them for a call. If they do, we redirect them to Calendly. Calendly is the actual scheduling software. That's where the prospect can pick a time and book a call with one of the available consultants on our team. We use Kit for sending follow-up reminders. And this is the really crucial part because if a prospect goes to your site and they can't find a time in Calendly, we want to be able to follow up with them. Using Kit, we book more prospects for calls, so we're not losing good opportunities that are falling through the cracks. And actually, we have a better show rate. If you work in sales, you know how frustrating it is when somebody books a call and doesn't show up. Because we actually send a, thank you for your booking and information about us ahead of time, we actually get a really high show rate for people who have booked their calls with us. As you saw, we also use Pipedrive as our CRM. So after the prospect books their call, the salesperson has all the information they need. They haven't had to manually input data. And finally, there was Zapier. Zapier is the automation tool that glues this entire system together. Now, if you feel confident with Zapier and you want to have a go at setting this up based on what I've shown you here, go for it. Feel free to leave me any questions down below. But if you just found all of this a bit overwhelming, because this is a system that, I'm not going to lie, took me a while to build, then click the link in the description below, book a call with us, and we'd love to see how we could set up something similar in your business. One more time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.